Hello there, good afternoon. This is Bev Mann, Mediumship from the Heart. How are you today? We are connecting in a different way today. We're on YouTube due to some technical issues, I shall just say. I'm sure you're all aware of it. So please do bear with us. But there's always a positive in everything. That's what I say. And, you know, there will be more opportunity for you to interact because those of you who have managed to go onto YouTube will be able to ask me questions about your personal journey, about your development, and there'll be more opportunity for me to help each and every one of you individually. So you can still comment in exactly the same way. And this time, actually, I'm going to see all your comments and your questions as they come up. So please do, fire away. Let's make this a wonderful interactive program on this lovely Friday afternoon. So if you are there, please come and say hello. Let me know who you are, where you're from, and then we can get the show on the road. Okay, so apparently if there are comments, I will see them. So please don't be shy. I don't bite, only the people that I don't like. I'm only joking. It's part of my sense of humour. Seriously, I'm here for you guys. I'm here for your development. And I will just keep talking until I see some questions. So I'm a spiritual. Yeah. So this show is called Exploring Your Awareness, and it is for your development. It is all about your spiritual journey, your psychic skills, your mediumistic skills, how you can become a better channel for the spirit world and also for your client in front of you. How can I help you in the way of your development so you can learn and grow? And, how we can handle sometimes we do make mistakes along the way, especially in the early days. So this is a time really to share and to troubleshoot because once you're learning, this is the ideal place. It's like a playground, really, where you can just, like if you're in a development circle, that I was saying to my group last night, this is a place for you to practice and practice in a safe environment where there is no judgment of you. And if you can get yourself into a good group with support, because it's not just about the learning, it's also about the support of your fellow peers, those that you study with in a circle. And so, and everyone will have a different journey. There are some people who are working mediums that have never been in a circle of, for whatever reason, perhaps they don't live near anywhere where there's those groups going on, or perhaps they can't get into one, or perhaps they can't get out for whatever reason. They've got young children or elderly people to look after. The idea of a of the online is fantastic now. So I'm always one of these people that try and see the positive in everything, because now, I mean, I'm running development groups and I've got people from all over who join me on Zoom once a week, and different levels of ability, different evenings, and you get to connect with people who are on the same journey as you. And not only are they in your local community, but in my beginners group I've got people as far and wide as America. So you've got more people to experiment on. People live in different areas, have different cultures, and that opens up a whole new world, really. So we've got to see the positive in everything that we do. And like I was saying to Richard, our producer here, who amazingly puts on this show and has faced these challenges this week, everything happens for a reason. We don't always see the good at the time, but they are, things are exactly how they're meant to be. We may not like them, but I always like to think that there is a higher plan. Perhaps there's a step up or a move to the side or somewhere that we should stop and to consider. And often we don't get that opportunity to stop and consider. And consider is a really good word, really, because how often do we stop and consider ourselves? We're always considering others and how our deeds and actions and what we say, how they affect other people. But we also have to put ourselves into the cooking pot as well, and for what is good for us too. Um, I feel Mr. Producer is listening to this at the moment. But yeah, no, what I'm saying is that, sometimes things happen for a reason, because we need to stop and take stock of what's going on. And are we serving ourselves to the highest good? Are we serving the community to the highest good? And whenever I've been faced with challenges, I had a challenge with a certain person, who I know was, it got back to me, that was saying very unkind things behind my back. And instead of like just collapsing and falling into a heap over it, I looked at a way as to how I can, make good of a situation, because you can always make good of a situation. And then that's how the Indie Rose Trust came to me, that I sat with myself and considered how I can help other people in this situation, as well as helping myself. Put on your own oxygen mask as well. And the idea and the thought came to me to do some work for charity, um, out of what had happened. So there's always the good to be seen. Ah, we have someone here. Hello, Kelly. How are you? Hi, Kelly McKeating. Where are you from? And it's really good of you to join. We can't share, can we? But if you can, please maybe put on your Facebook page where I am, or where we are, I should say, where Richard and I are, the link to the YouTube. Perhaps Richard could put it up there. Anyone who is watching, perhaps you could let your friends know, because we've got some other great shows. We've got another great show this evening and tomorrow. And let's reach as many as we can while we're in this temporary place. So thank you for joining us, Kelly. I hope you're well. Richard, could we put up the link to YouTube where people can, if there is anyone on here, they can share it to their Facebook page? Okay, it's on the page. You have to say it slowly because my brain is, it's in puppy mode. Sorry. It's YouTube stroke spiritual productions. What is it again? Sorry. YouTube stroke spiritual productions. You can just look at it, search it on your Google, and perhaps you can let people know that we are here. We're still giving of our time, whether there's 3 people watching or 333 people. We're here to serve the community. So, Kelly's saying yes. I've read to my. You've shared to your Facebook pages. Thank you so much. Yeah, I guess you meant shared. I must be psychic, Kelly. Okay. So, Kelly, while you're on here, is there anything you want to ask me about your spiritual journey? You've got my undivided attention, and anyone who's got any questions, I'm happy to share with you. My thoughts and feelings, whatever I share here, is my own opinions based on my own experience. So do let us know. No question is too small or not important enough, because this is going to be here on YouTube, so people can watch back, and maybe your issue, maybe someone else's issue. So please do share away. Okay, so please don't be shy. Please do join in and say, even just to say hello, let me know that you're here. And I'm just going to carry on talking. I took, like I said, I took my beginners group yesterday, and thanks for the hearts, Kelly. God bless you. Hi, Joanne. You're from Halifax in West Yorkshire. Hi, how are you? Can't see a picture of you. Um, yeah, but thank you for joining. Please share the YouTube stream. That will be great, because the more people that we reach, the more I can help, because I'm here. I'm seeing myself as a little bit of a spiritual counselor that's going on with me recently. Within my groups, I seem to be able to troubleshoot lots of issues that people are having with their development, either when they're working, when they're working mediumistically. I'm able to tune in and see where their mind is going, i.e., if their mind is coming in, because their mind shouldn't be going anywhere. I'm seeing my role very much as spiritual counselor and to help people get the best results that they can. So if you know anyone who would like some help, perhaps you can share this stream with them, or they can contact me through my page, Bev Mann, Mediumship from the Heart. So Joanne, I've never watched you. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Kelly's saying, yes, thank you. I'm a full-time mum to my first grandchild. Oh, how wonderful. I don't get much time to link with spirit at the moment. Connection weak. Any advice? Um, the best way you can actually improve your link to the spirit world is remember that they are your spirit team. They are your friends. They are literally your team. And the more, hi Kylie in Australia, how are you, my lovely? Got an earlier time, which is better for you. Please do share the stream here on YouTube so we can reach other people. So going back to the question from Kelly, um, they are our team. And, you sit and you talk to your family, or you sit and you talk to your friends. So, and if you meet someone new, like a new friend, what are you doing? You're building up that friendship, you're building up that connection. And that is what we need to do with our spirit team. We need to build the trust and the confidence to know that they're always with us. And I know I'm always going on about it, but sitting in the power of oneself and your spirit team will help you immensely. Try and take that time, Kelly, even if it's just 10 minutes. It's about checking in with yourself, checking in with your friends, i.e., your spirit guides, because we have, we can have more than one guide, we can have many guides. Check in with your loved ones in the spirit world. It's really important. We say that before we say things, we should stop and take that 10-second rule. I know I don't often do it because I can be a little bit, what's the word, just a bit of a bull in a china shop. But, when we take time to consider, like if you're sending a text, read it back and profess before we send the send button. That's what we need to do, is to take that time with the spirit world and allow them to actually help us with our everyday life and our everyday problems. So sit with Spirit, Kelly, and ask them, how can I improve my connection to the spirit world? How can I help best serve you for my highest good, and for the spirit world's highest good, and for my clients or whoever I'm coming into contact with that day, how I can be the best that I can be. And the more you do that, the better you're building up that relationship that you would do with a friend or a family member. It's the building up that trust and knowing that they're there. And hi, Joanne, just one second, I'll just finish this question. The more that you sit in the power, and this is for everyone, the more you will get to know who your spirit team are. And just by getting, like when I've done here, if you look back on previous episodes that I've done, previous shows, where I've asked you while we're sitting in the power to bring your guides close to you and feel for their presence, feel for when they are coming close. so that when you're working with the spirit world, you know when they're close because you've already got your calling card. We call it the calling card. So we know when they're coming close to us and they're ready to work. So by you doing this, you are getting to know when they're around you, getting to know them just by feeling, because it's not just about what they look like or what their name is. Get to know the feeling when they're close to you. Kelly, the only peaceful place is in the bath. I would say please do not meditate in the bath. It's really a dangerous place. Um, don't go off on one. Don't be closing your eyes because things can happen. Water can be dangerous. So, yes, it's a lovely, relaxing place. But when you sit in the power of oneself and of with the spirit world, you need to be sitting comfortably on a chair or even uncomfortably on a chair, like I am now, on a chair, back straight, your feet connected to the ground, to the earth plane. And I know there are some mediums that say that they can, we've got the lovely Ian Mason, he says he feels better meditating, he can only do it laying down. And, everyone is different. But if we can try and do it the best way that you feel works for you. But if you are laying down, Ian is an expert at it, so he doesn't. But there is a tendency for most people to fall asleep. So it's good to be able to have your feet on the ground and feel grounded. Please don't meditate in the bath. Have a lovely relaxing time in a nice splash, but don't be doing that. So I hope that helps you, Kelly. Joanne, I struggle with timing what I get. I'm never sure if it's the person's past, present, or their future. Hmm. That's interesting because, when we first connect with spirit, and if you're clairvoyant, you're going to be seeing an image of a person. And this is quite a contentious issue with other mediums. And I always go with what sits right for you. I tend to feel that the spirit is an intelligence. And if you never saw that person for a long time before they passed, why would they bring themselves through as 70, 80 years old when you haven't seen them for like 20, 30 years? I believe that the spirit world, and again, this is my own reasoning, that they will show themselves at the age that you knew them, because otherwise, how can they be recognized? So we don't know if it's their past, present, or their future. Are you? I took it. Sorry, I took that question as a mediumistic question, i.e., when you're doing a mediumship reading. But you're talking, I assume, Joanne, you're talking about the psychic when you're doing psychic reading, like cards. Um, so it will depend. If you're doing cards, it will depend on the kind of spread that you're doing. And you do need to tune into the person in front of you. You need to feel the mind, body, and spirit. So this is where you have to use your intuition. I tend to find that when I do pick cards for people, the middle card is like, I never follow set spreads. I'm not known for my tarot readings. I can do tarot, but I tend to use the psychic tarot here. And what I'll do is, and I've got them here, is I take my first card as a present card. So if I picked a card, my first one would be the present. And then I'll pick another card and I'll place that to the left. And that I'll use as the past. And then a third card I'll put to the right, which is more the future, immediate future, or where it's going. But at the end of the day, it's what intent you put into your cards. So it's I can see what you're saying here. For example, if I see a tire puncture, how do I know if it's already happened or due to happen? I get images of things happening. Well, ask them, do you understand about a tire? Don't be afraid to ask. In that sort, I don't. When you're doing a mediumistic reading, I always say don't ask questions. because, you know, we shouldn't be asking questions when we're doing a mediumistic link. You should be telling your client, not them telling you. But when you're doing a psychic reading, if you're seeing it, um, ask your guides, you know, is this past, present? Put that intent out. You want to know, because everything in life is about intent. So if you're not getting it through cards and you're just seeing it visually, ask yourself, do you feel this has happened in the past or it's going to happen? But there's no problem in you asking someone. You're seeing a tire puncture. Would you understand that? Um, you know, and if they say they haven't, just say, well, perhaps it might be an idea to get your tires checked. Obviously, you don't want to put the fear of God into someone that they might have an accident. So always be mindful, have personal responsibility about how you address it, you know, because no one wants to think that they're going to get stranded on a road somewhere. So you could say, it might be an idea just to get your tires checked. So, and the only way you can help yourself, Joanne, with this is to your train yourself. Sit in the quiet and say, this is how, you know, whether you're working mediumistically or not, you can still sit in the power of oneself and ask to be helped when I get something. How do I differentiate between what's past, what's present, what's future? No. And maybe you can work with your own symbology, because everything is about your own symbology. So I hope that helps you, Joanne. Thank you. Do we have any other questions? Okay, so whilst I was, when I first addressed that question, I actually was going sort of mediumistically, and I think that's quite a valid point about how the spirit world will present themselves. Because if I had an old friend and I hadn't seen them for 30 odd years, why would they show themselves to me, you know, at maybe 80 when I hadn't seen them or since I was, or maybe it's someone that I was friends with at school? You're welcome, Joanne. Um, so I think that we have to open our minds to these things. And, you know, when a tutor or someone says to you, no, that doesn't happen, it's the intelligence of spirit. Well, hang on a minute. If it is the intelligence of spirit, they're using our mind as a library, you know, then we have to go with it. Kelly, you're saying no, I won't. I play music in the bath to stay out of that. Absolutely. So, you know, nice to relax, but keep yourself awake. There, you need to also set special time for you, Kelly. You're obviously a busy grandmom, and it is important for you to have that special time of sitting in the power. And even if you do it just once a week, it will help improve your connection. It's quality over quantity, and I always say that. You know, you could be sitting for 20 minutes every single day or an hour thinking about what you need to get shopping wise or what you're going to make for dinner. That's not worthwhile. You're better off just doing once or twice a week and getting quality connection with spirit. Okay? So perhaps, you know, in the morning when you wake up or before you go to bed, but if you're on a chair, you're not going to fall asleep. So yesterday in my circle, I'm just gonna carry on talking inspirationally, and hopefully this will help people. Um, but yesterday in the circle, some interesting things came up because when I teach, I do tend to teach inspirationally. I won't be studying for ages about what I'm going to. I'll have an idea what I want to talk about, but then I'll write some notes, but I'll let the spirit world come in and intervene and let them lead the way. And that's sometimes why I'm often not looking at the screen because I'm channeling through. Um, but we spoke the last few times, and they're on all in the library, about having the confidence and being in the right state of mind for a reading, how we can work with the law of attraction, how we can feel confident. And yesterday I was talking in my circle because I felt they needed to go back to working with the connection, because what I honestly feel, and there's not much said about this, I know within my own development, um, we're so fixated as tutors and mediums about talking about how we're going to get the best evidence, how we're going to get the best message. But what about the work that we do beforehand, the preparation work before we're ready to do that, to do that work? We need to be in the right frame of mind. So I have previously spoken about trust and confidence, affirmations, and affirmations, as you know, they are using the words like I am a great medium, I talk to spirit, spirit talk to me, I am the true channel for the world of spirit. Whatever you want to say, I am a good mum, I am kind, I am thoughtful, I am compassionate, whatever you want to, whatever you want as your I am, but it has to be, very empowering, and I am the most empowering words. So all these things are really important. But before you do a reading, are you actually getting yourself in the right zone? Are you actually preparing yourself mentally? Are you preparing yourself physically? And are you preparing yourself spiritually? Because it is mind, body, and spirit. And I was asking my class, how many have rushed to sit in circle, and they might have been rushing, not had any time to prepare before, even to sit down quietly for a few minutes, 5-10 minutes beforehand, just reconnect with yourself, feel yourself grounded, i.e. don't wait for the tutor to do the work. In fact, I remember I was in a mentorship program. Hi, Lizanne, in London. How are you? Where about in London are you? I remember I used to sit in circle and wait for the tutor to do all that. And I was in a mentorship group, and we never used to do sitting in the power or even a prayer. Because at the end of the day, when you're working and you reach a certain level, you should be know these things, that you have to work on yourself to be mentally, physically, and spiritually prepared for what you're going to do. Because if you take yourself back to the intent, you've got your surrender, you've got your intent, you've got your prayer, all those things that I spoke about, raising your vibration. But what are you going to do before you get to that point? You're Liz Brewer. That's your fashion label. Oh, thank you. Nice to see you on here, Liz. Welcome. Please share the link so all your friends know where we are on here on YouTube today. Because anyway, I'm dealing with questions and answers and just speaking inspirationally about our work for spirit. So thank you for joining us. And you're in Holland Park, of course you are. So nice to see you. You're near the London Spiritualist Mission. Okay, so let's be ready. So how would one prepare to be ready? And before I do a reading, I do my little ritual. I'm setting my intent for the day. And, we have to be in that positive frame of mind, even though we may be a little bit nervous about the reading that's going to go ahead, either one reading, 2 readings, 5 readings, whatever. We need to be in that right state of mind mentally. So your thoughts are very important. Your thoughts need to be positive. That's why the affirmations come in. That's why you need to take yourself back to when you gave someone a really great reading, knowing that you can do it and that you have the ability. Otherwise, you wouldn't be asked to be doing the reading. So mentally prepare yourself for what's going to come. Just don't go straight rushing into it. Physically, are you physically preparing yourself? Now, I said I do my little ritual. I will light my candle. I've got my candle burning here, even though I'm not doing a reading. I will put my incense stick on. I may decide occasionally to sage the room, depending on what's been going on in the house, or who's been here. I might just put a little bit of sage. I like the smell of it. So again, I'm doing it for a reason. I'm putting the intent into it. As I'm doing so, as I'm lighting my incense stick, I'm asking the spirit world to draw close and to allow me to be the best and clearest channel that I can be in my work for spirit. So all the time I'm setting that intent. I'm preparing myself mentally and now physically. Another important thing with physically is about eating, and I know this is another contentious issue. A lot of mediums won't want to eat before they before they are doing their connection with spirit. For me personally, and this is quite interesting, for me personally, I won't eat a heavy meal. That's because the way I've been trained. I've done a lot of training at the Arthur Findlay College. I know a lot of the tutors there, they will never touch a heavy meal beforehand. But I will have a snackette, as I call it. I will have something that will try to be light on my stomach, maybe some toast or some crackers or something, because you don't want to be starving hungry. But be wary. And as I was saying to my group last night, how many of you have eaten, and what have you had? Have you had fish and chips? What have you had? Have you had steak and chips? How heavy has your meal been? Because spirit do work with our bodily fluids and the last thing you want when you're doing a reading is to suffer physically with like indigestion or feel uncomfortable in any way. You need to just be comfortable. That's why I say have a snack, have something small. And I know it's not always healthy to eat at 9 o'clock at night when I finish my circle. But if I am really hungry, I will eat properly then. It's not healthy, but or I'll skip it. But it's very hard to work with spirit if you've got a full tummy. Especially if you're working with sense of taste and smell, you've still got the smells in the air, you've still got the taste in your mouth, however many times you may have cleaned your teeth. So remember, they do work with the digestive system. If we're going to be doing, especially if you're going to be doing trance mediumship or physical mediumship, which are two different things, they are going to be using all your bodily fluids. That's how they create the voice box, when we're in the trance state or physical trance state. So be wary of that. Also, when you eat food, it does make you sleepy. So, when we're working at lunchtime, and this is kind of lunchtime, this is often known as the graveyard shift because most people are sleepy after lunch. So if you go to a college or an organization and you're learning, anything for that matter, you're at school, your kids are going to be sleepy after lunch. We put our babies to sleep, often after lunch. So do think about that in your preparation. And from the spiritual aspect, again, it encompasses all of that. It encompasses your intent, it encompasses your prayer, and it also, most importantly, it's about the surrender of your mind to the spirit world. And this is where the sitting in the power will help you, because we cannot surrender our mind to the spirit world when we are thinking in our everyday mind. So if you're thinking, you are not surrendering. And it's not easy to achieve. I don't for 1 minute say it's easy. And I have often said, and will, will admit to having a really monkey mind. But we need to be able to put our mind to the side. Because if you're saying to a client in a reading, I think, then you are thinking. People ask me, what's my imagination, what's not? Spirit will work with your imagination. But we'll come to that in a minute. I just want to see if there's any questions or anyone want to ask me anything on what I've talked about, that preparation, because I do feel it's very important and not enough has been spoken about it. We want to jump straight into mediumship. Are you in the right place? So are there any questions, Richard? Okay. Okay. So if you're there, please do say hello, because I like to get the energy of the people. Say hi, even if you don't want to ask a question, just give a little wave or even a little heart emoji, just to let us know that you're here. It's as I said, today we are not on live Facebook because someone decided to do something very silly and say it was spam. And so we are still here on YouTube, reaching out to as many as we can. And I am here to answer your questions, anything about your development that I can help you with. So we're talking about preparation, and we're talking about now letting your mind go and to be that open channel for the spirit world. And it's not easy. And again, that will, sitting in the power will help you with that. And so every time a thought comes in, it's about allowing that thought to come in and then letting it go. So as it comes in, and then we let it go. Okay? So it's literally just surrendering to the spirit world. Okay? And the spirit world will use your mind as a library. Everything that you've seen, heard, experienced, everything that you know about in your life, every film you've seen, every TV program you've watched, every person you've met, they will pull upon those memories and use them. And you can create your own symbology this way as well. You can create, like seeing your own mother or father, knowing that it's mother or father, or if you're a person that feels, what does a mother's love feel like? What does a father's love feel like? And if you didn't have a good relationship with your mother or father, you can relate to a film that you've seen where someone had a good relationship with their mother or their father. What if you don't have a brother? I don't have a brother. What does a brother feel like? And there are lots of mediums that work with, for example, family trees, and see a family tree. And so when we're going to grandparents, where are the grandparents on this family tree? Are they to the side? Are they on the mother's side, or are they on the father's side? Where do you feel it? And perhaps look at your own grandmother on your mum's side, or your own grandfather on your father's side. What were their personality? Perhaps that's a key, what their personalities was like. My two grandfathers had completely opposite personalities. So we can look at it from the personality point of view, and it's all symbology. So if I'm seeing my dad's dad, I know it's a really fastidious man. If I'm seeing my mum's dad, he was a very quiet man. So does it mean that they are a quiet person? Hi, June. One second. So how do we know if they're talking about what their personality is like, or they just want to say I'm dad's dad or I'm mum's dad? That's for you to ask the question of the spirit person, or to try and work it out for yourself, either by your family tree or how it feels. It really is like spiritual charades sometimes, and we have to work out what best works for us. Liz, you feel blessed with your spiritual growth. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. We did have a question from June. Hi, June. How are you? June, I know I met June through here, I believe originally, but June came to my course that I did at the Fox Pioneer Centre. Well, not physically there, but online, which was You, the Evolving Soul. It was wonderful to meet you, June. Hi, Bev. At what point do you know you've reached connection? Is it just a feeling? Connection with what? With your guides or with your communicator? If you could just be a bit more specific with that question, June. I believe we were talking about sitting in the power, so I'll go to that point first. You know you've reached your connection when your mind is completely still, and you will feel that just sense of stillness. That's what you want to achieve. Not easy, but that's why creating the ambience is, is important, because it's kind of like a body clock. It's like saying, I can smell this incense, I can see my candle, I know this is my time, I've dimmed the lights, this is my time, this is my space. At what point have you reached that connection? Knowing your own energy, getting to know what your energy feels like. So as you're sitting in your own energy, you will know what your energy feels like. And if a person came in the room, you would feel their energy, wouldn't you, June? You would feel the sense of someone coming in. A blind person will know when, even if we've got our eyes closed, a blind person knows when someone's coming in the room, because they are extremely sensitive to energy. They have to be. Animals are very, receptive to energy as well. So as you're sitting in that quiet zone and you're sitting in that power, you will start to feel the energy build around you. You know what's your energy, June, and then you'll start to feel something different. Maybe you'll feel some tingling. Quite often people, when they start, they get that cobweb effect around their face. So they'll get that tingling sensation. You may feel like a prod in your arm or your back, or you may feel intense heat or intense cold. Everyone is individual. That's why I do a lot of sitting in the power. And for anyone listening, if you look back on previous shows, I've got some there, and I'm going to be rerunning them, and I might put them up in the VIP section, because it's so, so important. And then when you're sitting in your own energy, you will know when your guides have come close, because the energy is different and there's no one in the room except you. So I used to feel like a great intense heat in my back, and now what I get is I get like a little poke on my arm, and I know that they're around. June, I'm getting there, Bev, but it still feels like false. It's hard to get out of our thinking mind, but June, try the rituals that I talked about. It's your brain telling yourself, our brains tell us certain things, like in the morning, we're going to get up, we're going to have a shower, we're going to have our breakfast, you have a routine. So, whatever your routine is, or, automatic things we do, like driving in a car, getting to A to B, we don't often think about it because we know we've got to do mirror signal maneuver. So instead of mirror signal maneuver, you're doing candles, lights, incense. Right. And I guarantee you, if you keep doing that and you dedicate time to it, maybe start with 5 minutes and build up 10 minutes and 15 minutes over a period of time, you will get there, because your body will automatically start to trust yourself, that you can do it. And it's about training your mind to it's okay to go into that quiet, safe, comfortable space. Okay, and you will get there. And June, I know you're going to be joining my circle, which I'm excited about you joining my regular weekly group. We're going to be doing more sitting in the power there. And when I'm teaching, I am observing everybody sitting in the power, because it's very important as a tutor that you do have your eyes open. And, you know, I may be closing them as I'm talking them through it because I'm going on the same journey, and I do it inspirationally, but I do need to be watching that you're doing it correctly. And so I'll be keeping an eye on you. So why don't we make a pact, June, that you start from tomorrow morning, give yourself 10 minutes, you know, set your clock or whatever. Not that it gives you a fright with an alarm, but if you can set your clock in some way, do 10 minutes. Dedicate that time to you because you're worth it. Each and every one of you here are worth it. So I think that's a good idea. What do you think, June? You know, we can't expect to go from 0 to 60 miles an hour just like that. We have to learn. We have to learn to do it. Just take it slowly, right? Like I said before, it's quality over quantity. It's not how long you sit. So anyone who's listening, build up slowly in increments. So I hope that helps. Richard, was there another comment that came up before? There was something that I didn't see. Kelly, when I have peace, I switch on within moments, but I have trouble with how fast the thoughts come through. Thoughts and pictures moving too fast. Are you talking about when you're doing a reading, Kelly? Or are you talking about when you're sitting in the power meditating? If you could just be a little bit specific about that, that would help me. Okay, so we'll just wait for your answer, Kelly. See, there's some other comments here. Hi, Liz. I can now receive messages from the angels and from cosmic realm. I do automatic writing and light language. Also write it. I'm now beginning to understand now what I'm saying. That's wonderful to do that automatic writing. Automatic writing, for anyone who doesn't know what that is, that's almost like when you're in a trance state. There's different levels of automatic writing. There's automatic writing, which I've done in my groups before, where they've got pen and paper. They've just tuned into spirit and they've just written the words that they feel they need to write inspirationally. There's also, and there were some very famous mediums who were automatic writers. I can't think of their names at the top of my head, who would literally go into a trance-like state. And so they would hold the pen like very, very loosely and just allow the pen to flow. And one of the best ways of testing automatic writing, I don't know if you know this, Liz, is actually to hold it in your other hand. So I'm left-handed, so I will automatically hold it in my left. But if I put it in my right, I cannot write with my right hand, and it'd be very interesting to see how that goes. Will you excuse me for one moment? I just need to, my door. Hold on one second. Apologies for that. So, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So, automatic writing is a fabulous form of mediumship, and it's often overlooked. So, everyone can try practicing that. Sometimes you can do a message just by writing it out. Um, and that's a really good exercise as well. So, Liz, it'd be interesting to know whether when you're doing your automatic writing, are you doing it with your usual hand that you write with? Are you going into a trance-like state, or is it just coming to you inspirationally? Um, but it's wonderful. Keep at it. It's a fabulous gift. So, thank you for that. Oops. Okay, so Kelly, so you switch on and the pictures come really fast. Your thoughts are pictures moving really fast. Okay. Yeah, with a card reading. Okay. So with your card readings, I can pick bits and bobs out, but it moves so quickly. So yeah, I mean, what you could do is set your intent. If you're not working with spirit, so you can't tell the spirit world, but if you're just working within yourself, your guides are still guiding you and helping you when they work with you, whether it's psychically or mediumistically. You can ask them to slow it down just a little bit. Be careful what you ask for. You don't want it to go too slow, but you can ask them to just slow it down a little bit. But what you'll need to do is to learn to speak quickly and so you don't miss it out. Or what you could do is I have a short memory span. I don't know if anyone's noticed. But what you can do is have pen and paper next to you, and you can write it down, your thought that's come in. While you're talking about your first one, you can write down your second one so you don't forget it. All right, so that's okay. You will see some mediums work like that. Um, I've if you watch TV and you watch sometimes the Long Island Medium or some of them or what's his name, Tyler, he'll always go in with a notepad and he'll write things down. So I think that's a really good idea for you, Kelly. So while you're saying blah 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 blah, and then the second thing comes in, but you still want to talk about the first, just jot it down, and it will jog your memory. Oh, and apparently Marcus here, he does that as well. So I've always got pen and paper next to me. I don't actually often use it. But here, like when I'm doing my teaching, like yesterday, I was teaching last night, and because I was teaching inspirationally, I wrote down those words, which are be ready physically, mentally, spiritually, because it's something that I've not learnt that from anyone. It came to me just as I was teaching, and I thought, oh, I know me. I think I'll remember it, but I won't. So jot it down, you know. And it's like anything, even journaling or if you're keeping a diary. I always think I'm going to remember things, but I don't. So jot it down. Kylie, I hope that helps, Kelly. Kylie, in the middle of a medium link can go psychic and not realise, but if I try only psychic, I get nothing. I just cannot seem to link in with a sitter knowingly, block myself for some reason. Hi, Kylie, how are you? Lovely Kylie in Australia. Thank you for tuning in today. Um, I used to find the psychic really difficult as well. And I always used to say to people, you know, I'm a good medium, but I'm a lousy psychic, and I joke about it, quite a lot, including my taste in men sometimes. But anyway, there you go. As we're on YouTube, I can say that. But anyway, I agree with you. Sometimes the psychic is difficult. Um, and when you're in a middle of a medium link, it is okay to drop to the psychic. So the difference is knowing the difference when you're in your psychic link and when you're doing psychic, when you're doing mediumship. So when you've dropped to psychic, that's okay. And then when you can come back up to the mediumship, so it's okay to go up and down. But you say you get nothing. And I'm going to tell you a story that I had once, that I was reading for a lady. And, it was in my early days and I thought I did really, really well. I got like 5 contacts for her mother, her father, her sister, her aunt, and all this, right? And I said, "Oh, is there anything else I can help you with at the end?" And she said to me, "Yes, there is something. Can you tell me about my son?" And whatever I told her was wrong. I kept getting no's. So from going from all these lovely yeses, I got all these horrible no's. And I went back to the spirit world and I actually asked them, "Listen, please, Mum, this, you were marvelous with me mediumistically, but I need some help now in her everyday life. So can you help me? Tell me about her son." And then I got all this information about the son buying a new car. He shouldn't have really bought a new car, even down to the registration of what the car was going to be. I think I was like 1 digit out or something. The color, everything. So what I'm saying to you, Kylie, is you can ask the spirit world to help you on your psychic side as well. So, Mum, tell me what's going on in her life. If you were here now, what would you say to her? And I often will use the cards with me. I'll do the mediumistic link first, and then I will use the cards to help me. Like I say, some people are naturally really good on the psychic side, but we're all born psychic. We can all do that. But if you're struggling after the mediumship, at the end of the day, your reading is a three-way or even four-way. If you've brought forward more than one contact, it could be a 4 or 5-way link. Why not use those lovely spirit people that love their daughter in the reading? Include them in. What's wrong with that? It's not cheating. You're actually giving them the opportunity to help their daughter with a problem. And a problem shared is a problem halved. And quite often, people want to know, well, what would my mum think about this? What would my mum, I recently lost my mum, and I often think, I wonder what my mum would think of this situation. So go to the cards if you need to, Kylie. Ask their loved ones, come and help me. Come and help me choose a card. This is what I do. At the end of the reading, I'll say, right, I'm going to choose some cards. So I'll shuffle the cards and I'll say, right, what do you want to tell me? There'll be one card that's sticking out. And I got the card Destiny. This is like the Lady Luck card. So I think, well, what does the mother saying with this card? She's saying, like, probably to, maybe to me, she's saying, don't interfere. Whatever she does, she's going to be successful at. The world is her oyster. This is, I think, the equivalent of the world card in the tarot. But and apparently it's Lady Luck, this card, so that you're lucky in all different aspects. So it might lead me to say, perhaps, that whatever decision that they wanted that she made, it would work. The choice is hers, and it would be fine. All right. So I always finish my readings on cards, and I always include the spirit world in with me. So does that help you, Kylie? Obviously, you can't do it when you're doing live readings on a show. Kylie saying, I've heard that before. Do I ask the sitter for a spirit contact to work through? I suppose I don't need to know the connections, relationships, do I? Kylie, I know you work with spirit because you've been on some of my workshops. So why would you be, I assume that you were talking about a mediumistic reading. Are you just talking about psychic readings then? If you're just doing a psychic reading, you don't even need to know who the contact is. You don't even have to be working with a spirit person. If you're doing a psychic reading, there's various things that I will do. But the most important thing, because I'll forget, is I'm asking my guides and helpers to work with my clients' guides and helpers, or the person in front of me, to the highest and best good. So it's like my spirit team are going to talk to their spirit team, and they're going to have a conversation together to help me channel the best words that I can use, channel the best cards that I can pick to work on a psychic level. It's all about the intent. Everything is about the intent. Now, what I said in a previous show, a couple of shows ago, how do we make that psychic connection? How does one do that? And I talked about various different ways that we can do that. And some people saying, "Oh, I never thought of doing that." One of them is the blanket effect. Whereas if you're putting like a blanket and around them, and you're bringing them close to you, so it's like you're pulling them into your auric field. Another way you can do it is imagine that you're going, because obviously they're giving you permission or they wouldn't have come to you for a reading. You don't do it unless you've got permission. But another way of doing it is to go in like as if you're going in through their solar plexus. So imagine that you're going deep into their solar plexus. Well, I find a really nice way of working, and I naturally do this. I'm quite an eye person. So I tend to go through the eyes because the eyes are the windows of the soul. I did a workshop once called The Windows to the Soul, where we worked on that. And I'm going to be doing that again, actually. You've just reminded me, Kylie. Because I do find that the eyes never lie. Kylie, you're saying a medium link to work psychically. Okay, so I don't need to know the link to work through spirit to do psychic. Thank you for your help. Yeah, you can either use your spirit person or you're working with their guides. You know, you like to think that they came to you because they were guided to come to you. They were over and above any other medium. So you're asking your guides to talk to their guides. How can I help? How can I facilitate to the best and highest good? And just practice it. Practice it at the end of your readings as well. So good. I'm glad that helped you, Kylie. Well, I've got a workshop coming up, Kylie, if Richard doesn't mind me saying, on the 2nd of December with the Fox Pioneer Centre, which is called The Medium and the Emotion, where we're going to be working at all levels, because again, I don't feel enough mediums and tutors are paying enough notice to the message. It's all evidence, 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 which of course is vitally important. I'm not taking anything away from that. I teach people about the evidence. It's so, so important. But what does the spirit world want to say to their loved one? And Kylie, you've hit on a really, really important subject. What's the message? Go to the cards. If you're not working psychically, ask that mum or that dad or that gran to choose a card and to lead you, to steer you into the right words rather than it coming from our ego self. We're giving them the opportunity to not finish with the evidence. You know, how many people go to schools or colleges to learn mediumship or to circles, and then you've given the evidence and that's it? You know, I used to teach like that myself, so you know, I've been guilty of it in the past as well. What do the spirit world want to say to their loved ones? They've made that special effort to come here, and then we basically tell them to bugger off back to we've done the evidence. That's it. It's not right. Oh, Kylie, we'll give it a spin. Is it at 3 a.m.? Oh no, this one's 5 in the afternoon UK time. So yeah, probably is. Sorry. That one is 5 in the afternoon till 10 in the evening. So yes, it's 3 a.m. for you. Apologies. We normally do 2 times, but I'm only doing it at 1 time for that specific course with the Fox Pioneer. But anyway, connect with me. I'm doing more courses and workshops coming up. So I've got another one coming up in January, which is my own, which will be a 2-day one. So yeah, I hope that helps you, Kylie. Yeah, to everybody, include the spirit world in your. Don't dump them as soon as you're given the evidence. Oh, aren't I brilliant? Marvelous. You know, oh yeah, I'm great. Look at the evidence I've given. You know, that we don't know what they've had to get through our thick skulls to give all that evidence. Let's give them a chance to be their voice, because we could be their last chance to be heard. So great, Kylie, thank you. I'm trying to do my workshops that are sensitive to time. And my one I've got coming up is sensitive to American time, which will work for you as well. Anyway, love you. Thank you for the psychic idea. Sounds like a plan. Yeah, do let me know, because I love to hear feedback. I love to know what's going on and how it worked for you, because we're all unique and we all work in a unique, different way. So see how it goes. Any other questions? Do we have any other questions that I may have missed? Let's have some feedback then. Hi, Liz. Bev, after praying, I prayed in light language, and then these beautiful words of translation just came out my mouth. I wished I could have written it down, but it was beautiful at the time. I think you've probably said the end's cut off. You know what you can do, Liz? You know, like people say, oh, you can't sit in trance when you're on your own because you've got no one to listen to. And especially we're in lockdown, some of us are on our own. You can put the recorder on. You know, we've all got this record facility on our phones, well, most of us have. Just press record, you know, and you can also set your alarm so you're not in it too long. Although you don't want a loud alarm, please don't put an loud alarm to say, you know, if you want some music or something to bring you back. Okay, so maybe you can have an alarm with some soft music, or you can record yourself saying it's now time to come back, you know. So that would be a really good idea for you. So you can record it and make like a little library, Liz, and then you can share them. And maybe write a book about them, or, you know, a CD of them. That would be a lovely idea. Make a CD of your recordings. So what do you think of that idea, Liz? No alarm. Well, yeah, well, there's always a way of making yourself, you know, if you set your intent, this is the time I want to dedicate to this, I'm going to sit for half an hour. Your body clock should do that. I mean, at worst, you might fall asleep. But, you know, if you've got on your phone an alarm thing, or you can record some music that will come on at a certain time, a bit like an oven timer, you can do that. A slight little ding, you know, that will go off. And then you can, because, you know, people say there's no point in sitting in trance on your own, but if you can record it, then why not? Liz, I actually do write my automatic messages in my journal and light language. Beautiful, lovely. But this I'm talking about now, I appreciate you, right, Liz, but for anyone else out there who wants to practice trance speaking, you know, we've gone on talking about trance speaking, where you allow spirit to draw close and speak through you. You know, we're entering into another lockdown now. There are ways we have to be, you know, experimental in the way that we can go forward with our work. And sometimes it will enhance it because we have to think outside the box. So, yeah, it could be another way of working, Liz, just speaking it rather than writing it. Try it. Are there any other questions? Okay, so I'm going to finish shortly. I'll just, do you want me to go through what is coming up tonight, tomorrow? And then in between I'm doing that, guys, anyone who's out there, if you've got any other questions, I'll come back to it. Now, all the shows that I've done are in the library. Are they still accessible, Richard? So, right. Now, you can still become a member of the VIP section. And I'm going to be posting up some of my videos there, if Richard doesn't mind occasionally. One I really Oh yes, yeah, can't give me access. Okay, well, I'm going to be putting some on my page then about sitting in the power. I've had a lot of students asking me from it anyway, particularly those that are in the States as well. I think they just like my English drawl. So I'm going to be posting them up because we keep coming back to sitting in the power and building that relationship with the spirit world. And I can't stress the importance of that. So do watch out for my page. Please like and share my page, which is Bev Mann Mediumship from the Heart. Can we just put that up, which is at Bev Mann Medium page? And I'll be sharing some of my posts, and Richard just said that you can still download some of my shows. They're all there in the library. There's different workshops on color, on remote viewing, on so many different aspects of mediumship. We've had fun with the remote viewing, and there's some meditations in there. We've done psychic readings. So, do go back in on the library. They're there for your benefit, and the same with other mediums here as well. So there's my page. If you would like to like and follow my page, it's at Bev Mann Medium page. And there's also my website, which is bevman.co.uk, which will have a list of what workshops and events that I'm doing, and you can always friend me on Facebook and to keep up with what's going on in my world. Teaching is a passion to me, and as I said at the beginning, I'm going to be doing a lot of spiritual counselling, either one-to-one or groups, where I can problem shoot with people, and I know that that is part of my pathway. I'm really passionate about helping other people with their work for spirit and seeing them get the results that they truly desire and deserve. So do contact me, or email me, bev@bevman.co.uk, for more information. So what is coming up tonight, Richard? Tonight at 8 o'clock, we've got the Origins of the Ancients with Brigitte Visa and Kate Buxton. Always a very interesting show, and very, very informative. So do tune in here again on YouTube until we get things sorted out at 8 this evening. Tomorrow we have the lovely Bex with your questions with a straight answer. That's at 2:30 here on YouTube tomorrow. And tomorrow evening we have a demonstration of mediumship at 8 o'clock UK time here, and it will be presumably it'll still be on YouTube. And it's with the lovely Sam Pert, great medium and a lovely guy. So do tune in at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening for a demonstration of mediumship. I know I should be trying to do so. Now we're all on this big curfew. We need SPTV more than ever. It's really been awful what's happened. So please continue to support Spiritual Psychics TV. You can become a VIP. The VIP page is still up and running, isn't it, on Facebook? And there is movement. Hello, you back on? Yeah, I really would encourage you to, we all work here for free, and Richard is amazing in that he keeps, it's not a money to run a studio and for all the equipment. Can you imagine the cost of upkeeping all this equipment? And, all he asks is, if you're able to, is to support the VIP section, which is for as little as £1 a month. Which is less than a cup of tea, as I always say. I'm a patron myself because I believe in the channel. I think it's wonderful how we can do these shows for free. The teaching shows, the messages, the mediumship, learning things about, the origins of, the ancients, learning about whatever's coming up, numerology, astrology, just having a safe place. And I know so many of you guys, whether you're here listening or you're going to come back on YouTube and hopefully hear this later, I know you guys have made the most incredible friendships. I've seen the conversations, sometimes when I watch other shows and I see how you all banter together. And, it's really important that, we continue to support SPTV and keep it on the airways, especially now we're approaching another lockdown. So many people would have been lost during that period we had from March to whenever it was, June. There are people that live on their own. I live on my own. And it's a lifeline for many, many people. So if you are here and you can share this YouTube link or any of the other links that any of the other shows that are going to be on, continue to support Richard and SPTV. I'm really passionate about the work that each and every one of us does here, especially Richard. So thank you, Richard, for running the show today. And thank you for having me, everyone. And again, if you need me, you can reach out to me on my Facebook page, Bev Mann Mediumship from the Heart. I'm back again next Friday, PG, all is well. I'll be back at my usual time now. My set time is 1 o'clock here, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube. Have a wonderful week. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed. Bye for now.